my tiny whoops grooving like a funky jam. I dip through the doorway, spin by the cab, bounce off the toaster, yeah, I meant to do that. Neighbors knocking, saying, what's that sound? It's my brush motor soul train getting down. Flying through the curtain, dancing on breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic, bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop it all. I got LED strobes and a shag rug trail. I'm looping through the lava lamp, leaving a tail. My whoops got rhythm, my sticks got soul. I'm the pilot of the party. On a roll, TV remotes a gate, the lamps a dive. I'm flying like it's 7.5. No GPS, no rules, no shame. Just a funky little quad in a soul train frame. Below, we fly that flow. Below, grab that gap. No time to nap. No time to nap. Hit that roll. Funk and control. Funk and control. Bounce that wall. Bounce that all. We fly it all. Funk it all. We fly it all. Tiny whoop love, funky and free. We fly indoors, we fly with glee. Whoop it, loop it, groove it, move it, bounce it, flip it, funk it, rip it, fly that soul, don't lose control. Tiny whoop love gonna make you whole. I thread the needle through the vinyl stacks, bounce off the mirror ball, never looking back. My quad's got soul, it's got style, it's got sass. It dips through the incense like a blast from the past. I'm flying figure eights through the lava lamp glow, dodging house plants like a funky pro. My whoops got rhythm, my sticks got heat. I'm the pilot of the party with the grooviest beat. I loop through the hallway, I dive by the broom. I'm the disco ghost in your living room. I hit that split that's over grandma's chair. She just claps and says, boy, you got flair. I'm flying freestyle with a velvet touch. My quad so smooth it don't need a clutch. From the shag rug to the ceiling fan, I'm the funky little fly with a master plan. The curtains dancing on the breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop at all. Can't stop at all. Can't stop at all.
What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to the show. It's Whoop Wednesday. Today we are taking a look at the GameHat Aerial Firestyle. Cool little play on the words of freestyle. As always, I forgot to hit one of the buttons. There we go. CiottiFPV.com is where you go to support me. Patreon is the best way to do that. You can join as little as $3 a month. That's like 20 cents a live stream or like 10 cents a day. You can't tell me I haven't saved you at least a couple of dollars over the years or told you to buy the right thing. Hook a brother up. Let me keep doing that. I'll tell you something else that sucks that you can save $50, $60, $70, $80, $90, $300 on. There's an Etsy store with some fun stuff. I just put the, just today I got the 1.5 millimeter motor shaft propeller tightener up there. It's an M1.7 by 10 screw that you run down a propeller that has a 1.5 millimeter hole that'll make it fit the motor tighter. There's a bunch of motors like the Happy Model 1103 where there's a couple of propellers that don't quite fit tight enough. And every time you crash, you throw a propeller, this will fix that right up. You can the farther you send that thing down the hub of the prop, the tighter it's going to make the propeller. So you can just screw it in a couple times to tighten it a little bit, or you can screw it in a bunch to tighten it up a lot. That way you can get your props fitting perfectly on the motor shaft so that you don't ruin your motors trying to take the propellers off, but you also don't have the propellers fly off in crashes. So yeah, that's up on the Etsy store now. Loads of other really good stuff over there. That's a great way to support me. You know, the stuff is not cheap up there. Like, you're going to spend $5 on that screw, but the point is that you're supporting me and you're getting a free screw. So yeah, lots of ways to support this. This is a totally crowdfunded thing that I've got going. That way, when I review stuff, you guys don't have to worry about like me being bought and paid for by any manufacturers or brands or anybody. If anybody sends me something, I let them know I'm going to tear it apart if it's not good. Sometimes they won't then send me stuff, but folks that are confident in their gear or they just appreciate the feedback, they do send me stuff, and that's pretty cool. There is a Teespring store where you can get some fun shirts and other random apparel. There is a whole bunch of affiliate links. Change your bookmarks to affiliate links. That way, because you have to hit affiliate links over and over and over again. So change your bookmarks over, or your auto suggests in your browser, so that you use an affiliate link every single time you go to a website, and then you'll be supporting people that make stuff that you can watch here on YouTube for free without even thinking about it or worrying about it. Yeah, like I said, today we're going to take a look at the GameHat Firestyle. Very cool custom bind and fly. Custom built bind and fly with a really cool camera mount that I've never seen before. It seems very stout. It pushes the camera really far forward. I believe GameHat is actually in the chat. GameHat, what is this? What is this camera mount? Did you guys make this, or is this on Thingiverse or MakerFire or one of those other sites? So yeah, I've got 3 fresh Weebleed BT 2.0 300 mAh batteries, and then I've got a not very fresh Lava 300 mAh battery. This is about a year old, a couple of hundred cycles old. We're going to run all 4 of these on the GameHat rig. And then what I thought would be cool is I charged up 2 Newbie Drone Nitro Nectar Gold NX69s. And we're going to run those on the Hummingbird V4 that has had a lightweight antenna installed and a different canopy, a better canopy, a lighter canopy. The reason why I thought it would be cool to do that is that this Firestyle build here is on the Hummingbird Race AIO. And so what's cool about these 2 builds is that the last live stream we tested JST 1.0 motor plugs versus JST 1.25 motor plugs. And we found that the 1.25 motor plugs definitely made more RPM, like 4,000 or 5,000 extra RPM. And so we can kind of back that testing up, sort of, tonight with direct soldered motors on the same AIO and the same motors. This Firestyle also has the Newbie Drone Hummingbird 0702 30,000 kV motors. So we've got 2 rigs with the exact same motors, different all-up weights. The Firestyle is about 1 gram heavier. I'm going to put these both on a scale in a minute. But yeah, we can take a look at... This is going to be kind of like all the way on one side, right? Like direct soldered motors are all the way over here as little resistance as possible. JST 1.0 plugs are all the way over here, sort of like the most resistance possible. On Monday's live stream, we tested this guy on the JST 1.25s, which is kind of solidly in the middle. So yeah, we'll test the extremes tonight in terms of motor connection. In fairness, this guy is significantly lighter. The testing we did the other night, the smaller motor plugs were actually a little bit lighter of a build than the bigger motor plugs. So the Hummingbird on the JST 1.0 itty bitty plugs had the advantage from an all-up weight perspective, Tonight it's going to be the opposite. This is going to have the disadvantage on the worse, the higher resistance motor plugs versus direct soldered motors and as light as possible. This stream is more about this, but I figured it would be kind of cool. I have these batteries kicking around, and so I figured I would charge 2 of them up real quick, and we'll get to see. That'll be kind of fun, right? We'll start talking about this in a second. Let's visit chat really quick to see what's happening over there. Actually, let me close this out. I accidentally closed out of the browser window, and then I had to open it back up, and now I got 2 chats going at once. YouTube can barely handle 1 chat at a time. I'm not going to stress it out with 2 because, you know, horrible memory leak issues. Thanks, YouTube! Fix your shit, bro! In the chat, Nyafu is first, Chaser FPV is next, Giddybots, McShaky, Gusto, CXBA-FPV, Matthew Wagner, Frank Nicholas, License to Drive, Replicator, Sleepy CBR, GameHat Aerial, Dagul, License to Drive again, Sporny, Jimmy the Cow, Flycadelic, Uke, Sleepy CBR, P-Money, Jimmy the Cow, Moton, my eye is very itchy for some reason, Roya1, Uplift FPV, Break Faded, Jimmy the Cow again, McMucus, Jeremy Flies FPV, Whoop Fox, Replicator, GameHat, got all these repeats here. Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Who else do we have? McMucus, Sporny. I think I might have gotten everybody. Skull 901, TX2 Stomp 451, Dirty Nachos. Dirty Nachos. Drones in. All right, now I got everybody. What's up, friends? If you want to talk directly to me, type at CiottiFPV. License to Drive says, CiottiFPV, did you see Adam Savage's video yesterday? I did indeed. The surprising flaws in 18650 lithium-ion batteries. Yeah, you guys should watch. If you guys are not subscribed to Tested here on YouTube, shut this shit off and go over there right now. That is Adam Savage's YouTube channel. It is brilliant. He had a company on who does CT scans of electronics. We're used to doing like CT scans of our bodies when we go into the hospital, but this company is doing CT scans of things other than our bodies. He's had him on before. He had him on when he tested the $100 Apple USB-C cable. I guess it's technically lightning cable. And then he had him on again because they CT scanned 1,000 18650s. 10 from... Yeah, they scanned 10 batteries from... I forget. Go watch it. License to Drive dropped the link. They scanned a shitload of batteries and showed some really kind of scary stuff. There are some... the really cheap 18650s, go figure, are kind of dangerous. And they're like, the quality control is non-existent. They don't have any of the safeties. Kind of scary stuff, man. Kind of scary stuff. I think they said there's like 4 million 18650s produced every minute or something. It's not that. It might be like every day or every week or something like that. But some of the numbers that they said were pretty wild. Go watch it. It's really, really, really cool. Jimmy the Cow says, moo. GameHat Aerial says, what's your absolute top motor and prop combo choice for 2S Baby Turtle? So many options. It'll be light, analog. 1002, 14,000-ish kV. Doesn't really matter which motor manufacturer, I don't think. I'll get RC and Power before anybody else, but T-Motor also makes a set. I think Happy Model also makes a set. Happy Model makes an 1102, 13,500. If you want a little bit more grunt, that could be fun. But yeah, 1002, 1102, 14,000 kV, 2S, awesome for 2-inch baby turtles. I'm assuming that you're talking about a 2-inch baby turtle. The 2.5-inch setups, which I haven't had a chance to build yet, but that's coming. That is going to be too small of a motor. These are going to need at least a 1003 or an 1103. maybe even an 1104. I'm going to do a bunch of testing, as I always do, to see what's sort of like the perfect motor. But yeah, on an analog 2-inch baby turtle like the one that I have here, even on 1S, 1002, 1102. On 1S, though, you're going to want 22,000 kV. But yeah, on 2S, the 1002 or 1102s are completely fine. 14,000 kV is the right number. I got to get this thing put back together. I'd taken the motors off to put them onto the X14 build, actually, which I still haven't gotten up in the air, but I will soon. And now I'm going to swap the I forgot that I had these. I was actually going to sell them, but then I realized it was a better idea just to run them. I've got these T-Motor 1002. These aren't 14,000 kV, are they? They're 18,000 kV. Yeah, shit. Yeah, they're 18,000 kV. 18,000 is fine. Also, you're going to have to motor limit them down a little bit, and they're going to really love bi-blades. So if you're planning on doing it with bi-blades, 18,000 kV is actually kind of a good idea to give yourself that little bit of extra RPM. If you're going to run it on the tri-blades, the GemFan 2023 tri-blades, I don't have any floating around, but GemFan 2023S tri-blades, they're awesome. You're only going to need 14,000 kV 1002s or 1102s, and they'll absolutely rip. So yeah, good question, dude. Where did that... here it is. I want to start. So this is the Ultimate Freestyle Tiny Whoop, which last night I moved over to the lighter canopy and camera. I'm going to take this camera and canopy off of here because the Ultimate Freestyle Tiny Whoop top shelf like list of priorities is durability, and there's nothing more durable that I've ever found than the Mobula 6 2020 the old school Mobula 6 canopy. So yeah, I'm gonna put this back on to this rig. That's what I'm gonna be doing here down below the camera while I get caught up on chat. UFSTW says, did you see Weebleed is getting a bunch of different 1.2 inch 1.5 millimeter shaft props? So I've been alluding to that over the last couple of months. I'm glad that that is now common knowledge. Where'd you see that? I've been bugging Weebleed every so often about that. And yeah, he is making it happen. So that's pretty cool. I just looked on Weebleed's Instagram channel and I'm not seeing it here. Where'd you see that? GameHat Aerial, the $5 super chat. Thanks, brother. He goes, Ciotti's one-on-one help session made my first commercial cinematic edit so much better. Thanks for the color grading tips. You're certainly welcome, brother. GameHat also says, that is a CallistoFPV mount that is available on Thingiverse. That's pretty cool. Thingiverse. CallistoFPV. Great. Is it 2 words, maybe? Or did I spell it wrong? I bet you I spelled it wrong. I bet you it's only 1 L. I used 2. Callisto... Now there's probably not a space in between the two. Come on now! Callisto. Let's just try Callisto. Let me put 2 L's, though. Oh, balls! Callisto FPV mount. Boy, is Thingiverse's search worthless. Hopefully somebody will drop a link in the chat because, or just somebody tag me in the chat and tell me what to search for to find it, because I'm going to print one out. It's a super interesting mount. GameHat also says, we have this really cool little TPU loop to hold whip antennas now. CiottiFPV came up with it. Very cool. That's super nice. I've had pretty good luck just kind of letting the antennas hang out, but sometimes there's the potential of them kind of wobbling around and creating their own vibration that feeds back into the PID loop. So a super lightweight little loop would be awesome. Mick Mucus with a $5 super chat as well. Thank you so much, brother. I have an extra little body case, whatever you want to call it, the outside part for Baby Ratel 2. So if you have a Baby Ratel 2, someday maybe you'll break the case. Buy this from me, and then you'll have a replacement case for it. Do this. Just go onto my Etsy store, find something that you want, or a couple things that you want, buy them, and in the notes field, type, hey, can you put in the Baby Ratel 2 case? And I absolutely will. Get this off my desk. I'm not putting this on the Etsy store. This will never sell on the Etsy store. This is free. I'm also going to have a 2S 1.6 inch prop walk snail build for sale on there sooner than later. And I'm even thinking of doing a analog 2S 1.6 inch build on the Etsy store. This is the one with the Caddx Ant camera and the 0802 19,000 kV motors and the HDLRC Spectre AIO. I may or may not take this blue ORT Micro V off of it and just put like a white Micro V on it. But yeah, this might be for sale on the Etsy store sooner than later. If you're absolutely desperate for this, message me somewhere. All my contact info is on If you're desperate for either one of these before they go up there, message me. Contact info on CiottiFPV.com, and maybe you can get it before I even have to take pictures and write a description and all that jazz. Cool. My eye is not healing. I scratched the shit out of the bottom of my eye when I was having an allergy attack like 2 weeks ago, and it's like it's all fucked up, man. I was hoping it would be healed by now, but I don't know. Maybe I got a sty in my eye. Isn't that a real thing? Isn't there a thing called the sty that you can get in your eye? S-T-Y-E? Is that how it's spelled? Yeah, look at that. Is it a sty? I don't think it's a sty. Sty looks like a little growth. Yeah, no, that's not it. It's not a sty. Why would they call something a fucking sty that's right next to your eye? Call it something that doesn't rhyme with eye, you shitbirds. What are you doing? Why is it just me? Am I the only one paying attention? I don't know. I'm probably just I'm the issue, obviously. I'm the problem. I'm all like weird now, like when I go to rub my eye with my left hand, I'm like, oh god, don't fucking make it worse. GameHat also says, I don't think your Freestyle has the little whip holder, but there are solid pics of it on the site on the Firestyle. Very cool. Let's take a look. By the way, because I will absolutely forget this, but maybe GameHat, if I forget it towards the end of the stream, hopefully GameHat will put it in the chat to remind you all. He gave me a coupon code. I'm just looking it up real quick here. So until January 31st... Where'd it go? There it is. CIOTTI 20. 20 bucks off any whoop. I'm putting in the chat right now. CIOTTI 20. Here, let me do this. That's it. That's the coupon code right there. Valid until January 31st. So you got, what, 10 days? 10 days. Get you some, friends. Any of the whoops. Firestyle, whatever. They're all up there. So let's take a quick look at this little whip fella. Okay, I see it. I see it. All right, that second one is the best picture of it. So yeah, there it is. Very cool. Tiny, 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 tiny. Love it. With a screw in the back. The Firestyle I have here does not have a screw in the back, which is kind of interesting, and we're going to talk about that once we dive into it. But yeah, there you go. Here's the website, GameHat-Aerial.com. But I just did a Google search for GameHat space Aerial, and it found it. It was like the second or third result. So yeah, there you go. There's the website. Looks like the Firestyle is $200, which is a pretty damn good deal for a custom-built rig, right? These motors are direct soldered on here. That takes time. And then the rest of this thing is, you know, put together by hand. That shit takes time, and then there's going to be people that after they buy this, they expect, like, troubleshooting help, and that also takes time and money. So, yeah. Can you build it yourself? Absolutely. Are you going to get any customer service whatsoever from any of the companies that you bought the individual pieces? Of course not, right? I mean, I guess, kind of, but like, yeah, building any FPV drone and then selling it to someone is kind of a pain in the ass. And so you got to pay a little bit for that. Also, you have to pay for the company to, like, buy more shit, build different shit, innovate, right? Like, it's custom built FPV stuff is really rough, and the prices that I see on GameHat Aerial are totally fair. If you don't think they're fair, sorry, but you're wrong. You have not been in FPV for a decade like I have. You don't have a YouTube channel with 10,000 plus people on it hammering you with questions all day, every day. Like, you don't see the side that those of us that put ourselves in front of loads of people like this get to see. You don't know how time consuming it is. You don't know how frustrating it can be. And so, yeah. Last time I reviewed one of the GameHat rigs, there were a whole bunch of comments like, oh, that's way too expensive, blah, blah, blah. And like a couple of us tried explaining it over and over and over again. Some people are just not going to get it. And that's okay. You know, there are people that just don't get it. That's just sort of the way it is. But look, it's, yeah, again, selling a custom FPV. I sold a 1S 1.6 inch. So I've sold, I think, 3, maybe 4 custom built rigs on my Etsy store. The 4th one that I sold, the person had no idea what they were buying and put a return through Etsy, which I can't really fight. And I had to pay for them to ship it all the way back to me. Total nightmare. Absolute nightmare. I got dinged on the percentage when I sold it. I got dinged on the return. And luckily, someone bought it outside of Etsy, or else I would have to pay for the listing again. Like, it's rough to sell this stuff, especially when it's custom built and you've got a whole bunch of time and effort put into it. So these prices are absolutely fair. Again, if you don't think so, sorry, you're wrong. It's just the way it is. Truth hurts. If you're scared, don't go to church. But, you know, it's okay to be scared sometimes. GameHat says that'll be a fun comparison. McMuka says, if I recall correctly, you have a filtering scheme for 2S build that oscillates at mid-throttle and yaw turns. Can't find the stream. Do you remember what you did? I did black box is what I did. It was when I used the Betaflight damped 04 light mount. And basically on the pitch axis, the camera was vibrating on the soft mounting in that canopy, in that Betaflight canopy, and then the vibration of the camera was then feeding into the drone because they're connected, and then the whoop was trying to oscillate, was trying to fix that vibration, and so I had to black box it. Brandon's Baked Beans helped me, and we found that frequency that the camera was vibrating, and we dropped a notch filter on that frequency, telling the PID loop, hey, don't try to fix that frequency of oscillation. And magically, the problem went away. there was still a little bit of jello because the camera is still in there vibrating. Anything that you soft mount is going to have a frequency that it sits there and vibrates. But if it just vibrates and it doesn't feed into the whole quad, and the quad doesn't try to fix that vibration and create its own oscillation, it's not nearly as bad. It's unflyable if the PID loop is trying to fix that oscillation. So you drop that notch filter on there, and then the camera is still going to be in there shaking, but it's not going to be the whole damn thing shaking, and it's not going to be feeding back into itself, right? Like when that camera vibrates in one direction without the notch filter, the quad pushes in the opposite direction. Well, then that like slingshots the camera in the opposite direction, and then the quad corrects in the other direction, and then that slingshots it at the other direction, right? It's kind of like on a trampoline when you bounce somebody, when like, you know, you're jumping up and down on the trampoline, and then when somebody jumps right before you, they like bounce you up twice as high and you die. It's kind of similar to that. You put that notch filter, the quad ignores that vibration, and the camera's movement is much smaller, so you'll only see that camera vibration in like broad daylight. You'll see it as jello. This is why sometimes when you soft mount the camera on a quad, you'll have jello issues, but you'll be able to use gyro flow. Hard mounting cameras tend to have less or no jello, but then sometimes you won't be able to use gyro flow because the gyro that they put on these cameras is a little bit too sensitive. They need to be putting like MPU 6000s on the cameras like they do on our flight controllers. So yeah, that's what we did, Mick. You're gonna have to use black box for that. If you've got a specific oscillation like that, you can't just, a lot of times you can't just turn the PIDs up and down, or blanket turn the filtering up and down to take care of that. You can certainly try. Grab your master multiplier and pull it way down, see if that helps. But if you have like a really specific oscillation caused by like frame resonance or a soft-mounted camera or something that's loose or an antenna that's flopping around, you got to fix the if you're not going to use black box, or if your flight controller doesn't have black box, you have to fix the mechanical system, because you're not going to be able to just guess, oh, that's an oscillation at 155, between 155 and 165 hertz. Like you can't, you know what I mean? You can't just do that. So if the flight controller doesn't have black box, there are little loggers now. Somebody just put out a brand new itty bitty little logger. You could certainly do that, wire it up to a UART, VHB it to the flight controller, and that should work. But hopefully your flight controller has black box, because that's just so much easier. YouTube just did the thing. Scrolling back up, find my place in the chat. Nyafu says, I got the newbie drone light AF 75mm frame. Gonna see if I can fit a 2S 300 mAh in it. If I can figure it out. But sneeze, I'm fighting it off. If I could figure it out, we might have the new best ultralight 2S 75mm frame. Very cool. Let us know. At some point, I'm gonna dive back when I get my hands on one of those newbie drone light AF 75mm frames. I'm gonna do a test, that frame versus the Mobula 7 V4 versus the Air 75 V2. Come on, camera. There it goes. Now that I'm a little bit more educated in black box, thanks to Brandon's Baked Beans, I'm going to test all three of those frames. We'll look at some logs, and yeah, we'll see what's what. GameHat says, for the turtle, yeah, it's 2-inch. Thanks a ton. You're certainly welcome. He also says that old Mobula 6 sphere canopy is my absolute favorite of all time. I use Runcam Nano 3s for unbreakable awesomeness. Hell yeah. Running a Runcam Nano 3 in this frame is also the lightest setup. I have on my Etsy store little inserts for this frame where you can run CO3 or Caddx Ant or other normal sized cameras. but that's a heavy setup. You got to file away a little bit of the material on the front of this frame. It's kind of self-explanatory and easy, but you've got a heavy, durable canopy and then the heavier cameras. The Runcam Nano 3 is magic in here because it's the lightest tiny whoop camera ever because of the itty-bitty little lens on it. So that's the other reason that the Runcam Nano 3 is just king in this canopy. It's the old school ultimate freestyle tiny whoop formula. You know, if you want the absolute basher of all bashers, which I just love, you know, you're going to end up with a build, if you do it with a 2G4 like this, and not a super lightweight frame, this is the Cockroach V3 frame, it's going to be high 18 grams, if not like low 19 grams. But I fly this thing an awful lot in the basement, and I can do all the things with this that I can do with lighter weight builds. So don't be afraid of that weight. There's nothing wrong with it once you've gotten used to it. Is a lighter weight build going to be more accurate for like hitting small gaps or inverted stuff? Absolutely, hands down. But it's whenever you lighten these things up, you lose durability. Like that's just the way that it is. And with the extra weight, you've got extra momentum. So when you start doing these off-throttle throws, the inverted stuff, the extra weight makes it carry farther. And that's fun. You know, I flew this thing outside in Macon, Georgia on our little trip that Maggie planned to go see some snow this last weekend. And it was extremely competent outside. Like I was railing this thing down this alleyway, and it would just carry its momentum. It was really, really fun. So like you can also kind of look at it as you're adding mass, which is going to make it more fun to fly outside. It's going to handle the wind better, and again, it's going to have more momentum for the fun off-throttle throwy kind of stuff. So yeah, don't be afraid of the weight. It's you know, fat quads need loving too. That's bad. Sorry, that's that's bad. UFSTW says, thank you so much. It's in the prop section. You have to click on the good gem fans, and they say coming soon. Let's see. We bleed, and then we're going to go to the prop section, and then we're clicking on the new gem fans. I'm not seeing it. Hold on. What the hell? Go back. Prop section, you have to click on the good gem fans. The good gem fans. I assumed you meant these were the good gem fans, but maybe not. What are the good gem fans? 1219S's might be what you're talking about as the good gem fans. Those are pretty good. 1219S. They're... Ha-ha! Look at that. There we go. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. Yeah, the 1219S's are well balanced and they're very durable. They're a little bit heavier, which is why I typically don't run them. But boy, they make some power with that extra pitch. 19 pitch is a lot. So that is very, very cool. I'm really hoping that HQ will come through and make us some 1.5 millimeter propellers as well, because the HQ ultralights are just amazing. They're my favorites. So yeah, keep your fingers crossed. I have no idea who I you know, had told Zotek a bunch of times, like, we need more 1.5 millimeter props. It's the answer. It's the greatest thing. Your motors are going to be huge with those. He didn't say like, oh, I got this, and this coming. He said like, I think at some point he said like, I think I may have made some headway, and I was like, oh, that's amazing, because there's been zero headway on that up until this point. So yeah, I don't have any specifics. If it's just those 1219s, that's amazing, because that is a good enough propeller. Those are a more durable prop than the HQ ultralights. Yes, they're a little bit heavier, but, you know, pluses and minuses, yo. Like a durable prop that's well balanced, that's like current generation, right? The other the other option right now for a 1.5 millimeter mount, 1.2 inch prop is the Bi-Blade Gemfan 1210, which used to be amazing, but it's old. That's like a 4-year-old design, and propellers get a lot better like every year. That last year's crop of propellers is significantly better than the year before. And so the 1219 is definitely better than the 1210. Not just because it's pitchier, not just because it's tri-blade, it's just a better propeller. It's better designed. So that's going to be really cool. Oh, nice. GameHat sent me the link in Discord. Thank you, dude. Forward mount by CallistoFPV. There it is. All right, putting this into... well, now you know what to search for, but I am putting the link into the thing. CallistoFPV. That's how I was spelling it. But forward_mount, it looks like what they want you to search for. Let's see if it comes up when I search for forward_mount. There we go. So yeah, forward_mount is what you need to search for to find it. Very cool. I'm going to put this into... wait, here. Yep. Things to make. There we go. Awesome. I'm assuming there's a bunch of different uptilts here. Pinch, 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 robust, pinch. Okay, 30 degrees. M2, M1. Okay. For different cameras, I guess. Hey, GameHat, what camera is in this build? Looks like License to Drive found it as well. Frank Nicholas says eye issue could be Chalazion. YouTube, goddamn you. It's a blocked oil gland or tear duct heating pad or warm hot compress a couple times a day. Gets rid of it quickly. Oh, okay. That looks like a bump, though. This is like a cut. I was rubbing my eyes when I was having an allergy attack, and my fingernail like caught the bottom of my eyelid, and so that's why I think it's just that. But I would think it would have healed by now. But I'll try the warm heating pad thing. Thank you, dude. GameHat with another $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, thanks for the encouragement. Promised my Facebook people a big announcement tonight. We launched 75mm, including our first HD0 build, Banana Breeze. Nice. That's a fun name. I'm assuming it's yellow. B. Kirk says, their support is second to none, worth every penny. Very cool. There's a little endorsement for GameHat Aerial. YouTube just did the thing again, scrolling back up. GameHat also says, oh my, the Beta 04 light mount is the most jelly mount ever, lol. Yeah, you can, once you drop the, once you figure out that frequency that it's vibrating and you drop the notch filter on that, it's not that bad. Like in sunset, it's totally fine. You get no jello, but in the middle of the day, you do get a little bit of jello. Wayne Hunter with a $5 super chat. He says, CiottiFPV, what's up, man? Hanging with my friends. Spreading the good word. We're about to dive into this Firestyle and bounce it off the walls for a little bit. Jimmy the Cow says, rub some grass in your eye. Works for me. There we go. GameHat says, do you sell the little newbie drone size cam plugs on Etsy? If I don't have them listed on Etsy, I need to, because I have a big bag of them. So yes, I if they're not up there, I'll put them up there. That Mobile 6 canopy on the light AF frame is super nice for durability because it gives rigidity to the AIO area but leaves the rest flexible. I ran a whole bunch of the light AF frames and I kept breaking them and I just got frustrated. Also, I really like how tall the ducts are on the Cockroach V3. it slows the build down, which makes it more flyable inside in like tight spaces. So I've kind of completely moved away from the light AF frames. But yeah, you're right. The central canopy area, when you have this canopy bolted down, becomes like rock solid. Quad66 actually talked about that in one of his videos, which was really cool. And then GameHat also says, plus you gotta love how nice the canopy turtles. Yeah, very true. Mupshot's in the house. What's up, dude? Uke says 1.5 millimeter shafts are the way. Keep telling them we want them. Yeah, Zotex certainly knows. When you guys place orders on Weebleed, put it in the notes, you know, or just message them on Instagram. The more people asking them for it, the you know, like, don't go bananas, but like, yeah, the more people asking him for it, the more he's gonna lean on HQ and GemFan to do it. Hell, when you place orders anywhere, right? Mainly it's gonna be Weebleed and Tiny Whoop, right? But if there's a site that sells a bunch of Tiny Whoop stuff and you're ordering from them, in the notes put that, right? Tell them the stuff that you're looking for, and next time they're talking to HQ and GemFan, basically, maybe they'll mention it. And if those two guys get enough or shit, just message HQ and GemFan, right? Find them on Instagram or Facebook and send them a message. Hey, please make us 1.5 millimeter motor shaft, 1.2 inch props. We need them. You're GemFan, you're our only hope. HQ, you're our only hope. Yamasaur says the new GemFan 1207 have 1.5 coming soon on Weebleed 2. Nice. I didn't see it on there, but I believe you. That's awesome, because the GemFan 1207s have been really, really good and are significantly lighter than the 1219s, which is the only ding that I have on the 1219s, is that they're a little heavy. GameHat says Newbie Drone BIV2, very cool. So you guys are going to get to check out Newbie Drone BIV2 versus BIV1 tonight as well. That's pretty slick. We've kind of done that comparison before, but it's always nice to revisit. GameHat says all the names now are flavors: lemon lime, mixed berry, or 65 black cherry for the red limited, 75 banana breeze, etc. Very cool. And then, oh man, if you like to slow it down, you're gonna hate the Firestyle. LOL. Yeah, I mean, I go back and forth. You know, I have rigs that are set up to be really fast. Basically, the race rigs, the Newbie Drone Hummingbird Race is now on this same frame, which is the Air 65 V2, because it hauls ass. And then I've got the more freestylish rigs that are set up to be slow. So yeah, I fly sort of everything in between. You know, that's it's kind of insane that, like, no matter how much I kind of figure out with these Tiny Whoops, I feel like there's always more and more and more and more to learn, right? Like, we figured a lot of stuff out in 2024, 2023 and 2024. I think that's where we figured out, like, the bulk of just, like, the stuff with these Tiny Whoops. But then there's more and more and more to, like, customizing these things, and making them fly a little bit different. One of the more recent sort of revelations was the height of the ducts, slowing these things down when you, especially if you fly like me, which is a very flat flying style, where you're not, like, rocking it up into corners like this and using the thrust to slow it down. And so it's really cool to just keep figuring this stuff out and keep figuring out how to make these things fly exactly the way that each one of you wants them to fly, right? Some of you might want it to haul ass. Awesome. I gotta also like the canopies too, right? The aerodynamics of the canopy makes a big difference as well. A mount like this has very little wind resistance, right? So this is going to be slidey and fast. A big old canopy like this is a big brick sitting on top, So you turn this thing sideways, and between the frame and the canopy, it's just going to stop, and it's going to be laser accurate. You turn it, it goes, but it's not going to be nearly as fast. And like you can really tell, like it's been just so cool to figure all that stuff out. Admittedly, I don't know what else we're gonna really learn. There's always going to be new products that come out, and the products are going to kind of drive some of that, right? So like the canopy the frame revelation came because of the Air 65 V2 frame. When these came out, I put a bunch on rigs, and I noticed like the rigs were really slidey and really fast, and that led to that like, does 65mm 1S work outside live stream that we did. And so that's been really, really cool. And as different new products get released, that'll continue to happen. Wade Cloud with a $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says $5 for Angry Don for pushing 0702s. Yeah, Angry Don. There's a bunch of guys that have done all kinds of cool Butterfly FPV as well. Yeah, whole bunch of us that have figured some really cool stuff out and share it with the community so that we can all build better shit. And yeah, it's rad right now. You can build a tiny whoop that like perfectly suits your flying style, so that you can have something that's gonna work in the space that you fly in, at your skill level, and all that good stuff. It's really just amazing. And they make mega power now, and they're super durable. It's just, what a time to be alive, yo. Almost caught up on chat, and then we're going to dive in here. CiottiFPV says, interested to see what you think of one of my builds. Was hard to tune the RS on that Air 2 frame, so excited to see what you think of what I ended up landing on. Yeah, let us know what the build is, and I can tell you what I think of it. There's kind of not a combination of parts that I haven't built myself at this point. So yeah, if you let us know what the build is, I can probably tell you what I think about it. GameHat says, I wonder if it wouldn't be super hard to handle inside on the 1219s. Probably, yeah. Right now the Firestyle is on the, I'm assuming, 1.2 by 0.9s. Yes, 1.2 by 0.9 props and the newbie drone Hummingbird 0702 30,000s. This is the prop combo that we've been running for a while here, and it's a lot. So as this sits, it's going to be like outrageous in this little basement here. Enough to handle, but yeah, it's going to be a lot. He also threw in a couple sets of 1219s. I'm probably not going to put these on because they would be too much. This is already going to have more power than really what I want or need in this little space here. But 1219s on these motors would make even more power and be better for like outdoor kind of stuff. Although I really like the bi-blades for outdoors. The HQ bi-blades are just awesome for flying these little guys outside. So yeah, all right. I've got this canopy on here. I need to E6000 the antenna down here, and so I'm just gonna put this aside because I'm also caught up on chat, and we can dive into the Firestyle. But I'm not quite caught up on chat. GameHat's about to finish beta testing 75mm pocket docks 2. CiottiFPV says, "I built what you're holding." LOL. This very cool. Just a Shy Guy says, Mobile 8 came today, didn't get a chance to fly it, but it's here nonetheless. Very cool, you'll love it. Mentioned earlier, but YouTube did the thing, and I think it got skipped, my bad. And then CiottiFPV is my builder. That's right, I forgot about that. Right. CiottiFPV literally does these builds. All right, GameHat Aerial Firestyle, a play on freestyle, which is super cool. This is their freestyle build, designed to be very durable, which you guys know I absolutely love. It is going to be a little bit heavier than some of their other builds, that's one of the ways that you get durability. You make shit heavier. You don't make it heavier on purpose, but you select components that tend to be heavier. That's just sort of the way it is. It's like that in all of life. This guy is 17.1 grams dry. It uses a very similar AIO to the Hummingbird V4, V4 that I have here on a Brain AIO. This is going to be the other rig that we fly really quick towards the end. This is 18.3 grams. So 18.3, but it's going to be the last thing that we kind of fly, 17.1. So this is going to be a pretty shocking comparison here. We've got something that's 1.3 grams heavier, and it's got the worst of the motor plugs, versus something that's lighter and it has direct soldered motors. So there's going to be a massive difference between these two things, but that's okay. That's, you know, kind of what we want here. Let's dive into the rest of the Firestyle. So again, it is based around a newbie drone Hummingbird race AIO. This AIO has been very durable. And I believe it's the lightest of the AIOs. One of the big reasons that it's the lightest of the AIOs is that they've taken the USB port completely off of it, and there's just 4 holes in the AIO that you have to put this little kind of admittedly annoying dongle into in order to hook it up to USB. What's kind of genius about that is you don't hook it up to USB very much. And so, like, whatever, why drag around the weight of a USB port? Or a lot of the new AIOs are using a JST port, which is lighter and smaller than the USB, but it's still weight. Why not just have a couple of through holes, and then you just have your little pins on this guy, which has USB-C. You drop it in there, and away you go. We're going to do that now because I got to get this thing bound, and I got to put my rates on it and all that jazz. And so that process... Well, let's go over the rest of the build, actually, first. So that's the AIO that it's built around. We've got this very cool little canopy and the newbie drone BI V2 camera, which is nice and lightweight. We've got the newbie drone Hummingbird 0702 30,000 kV motors, which make mega power. It's going to come with the HQ 1.2 by 0.9 by 3 propellers, which are my favorites at the moment. It's got an ultra lightweight little whip antenna here, works totally fine. It's sort of the worst in terms of reception, but usually with tiny whoops, you're just flying them around the house, so it doesn't really matter. If you want to fly it outside or like long range, then you just put a different antenna on it. There's a UFL port up under the canopy there somewhere. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. Away you go. And then we've got a... custom-built, ultralight little A30 based BT 2.0. Is it? Yeah, BT 2.0. For a second, I thought it was NX69, but that would be crazy. Yeah, little A30 BT 2.0 with super lightweight little 180-degree solder the wires down, and then use some E6000 to insulate them. Very slick little builds. Just, you know, direct soldered motors. I almost forgot. And that's it. Nice and simple. Nothing crazy. This one has the screw removed on the rear here. And that is something that bind and flies are starting to come with. Either the rear or the front screw completely missing because... when you crash, one of the things that's killing the ultralight, really thin, weak AIOs in the moment is tacoing the AIO. And a lot of times that happens. Most crashes are face first, nose in. And so you're down like this and you hit and it bends the canopy like that. And then that bends the AIO because the AIO is in the canopy. So by leaving the rear or the front screw out, it actually allows the frame to taco a little bit and the AIO to not taco with it, right? And it looks weird, and you look at it and you're like, oh, there's a screw missing. No, it's maybe on purpose. On the GameHat Aerial website, they've got a little TPU loop holding the antenna down back there. If you want a little bit more durability, maybe you take that out. The antenna is just going to sort of hang out. It should be totally fine. I don't really find these antennas getting over into the props very much. So that's what I kind of assumed this was set up like this. You know, either or. That is a very common failure for the Betaflight AIOs. I haven't heard of that failure on these newbie drone Hummingbird AIOs. In theory, any of these lightweight AIOs are going to potentially have that problem. If you're running an AIO that's really lightweight and really thin, think about it. Think about pulling the rear screw or the front screw, probably not both, to allow that AIO to move up and down. It should not be a problem from a PID tuning standpoint, especially if you run a grommet. GameHat's got a grommet on this rear, and that's gonna, like, kind of, you know, the rubber grommet against the plastic post, they're gonna have a little bit of grip there. And so yeah, no, there shouldn't be any problem with doing that. All right, I've got the USB, or the little kind of annoying but kind of brilliant board, and so here it is. That's that little board on there. So I just dropped it down into the little holes, and you can see, like, it moves around a little bit. So, like, you got it. The reason why it's annoying, you'll see at some point, right? So, like, I'm plugging it in now. At some point, I might bump into this, and it'll disconnect from Betaflight. You just push it the other direction, and it reconnects. And just don't, like, just put it on your desk somewhere. Don't, like, try to hold it in your hand when it's plugged in, and you'll be fine. But right now, it's sitting in there. It's good to go. Cool. So just for the sake of argument, we're going to go nose down. Yeah, and see, there you go. So case in point, it just disconnected. And now it's so now I got to just push it to the side. And now it's going to reconnect. But it did look like it when I went nose up or nose down, whatever I did, it was matching on the little thing here. So the gyro was oriented properly. I think this Nick Burns had this before me, maybe. And so this is probably a flying rig. The gyro is probably good to go. It's a bind and fly. It should be good to go out of the box, but I'm just used to doing that every time I plug a rig in. Ports tab, nothing to see here really. 8K PID loop, that's pretty cool. Craft name is Firestyle, very fun. Accelerometer's turned on. Maximum arming angle is at 180. That basically turns that safety off, which is fine. D-shot beacon configuration is turned on. That'll allow the ESC beeper to work. That's great. Air mode is permanently enabled. I do something a little bit different with that, but that's okay. This is a fairly normal kind of setup here. LED strip is turned on. It doesn't really need to be. I don't think this thing has addressable LEDs, although it might. It might have one right there. And then OSD is turned on. So no surprises there. The only surprise here is the 8K PID loop frequency. That's pretty slick. Power and batteries coming up here. Minimum cell voltage 3.1. Warning cell voltage 3.2. That is not stock. That is turned down a little bit. That's pretty slick. The amperage meter scale is at 680. That might be a custom value. That's pretty cool. Failsafe is set normally. Come on. Come on, Betaflight. You can do it. You can do it, Betaflight. Get out of the presets. Here we go. Oh, interesting PID tune. D-gains are turned way down. D-gains are lower than P and I gains. So this is more... the reason why my computer is running like ass right now is that the YouTube memory leak is about to crash everything. So yeah, in a second, YouTube will crash and then everything will start running better. Yeah, this is a mess. Come on, YouTube, hurry up and be useless and crash, you piece of shite. So yeah, the PID tune is interesting. Typically, when I see lower D gains than P and I gains, that's more of like a racing tune. It's personal preference. This is a tune that will look better and kind of track your sticks better. It's, you know, that's not my deal. I'm the opposite of that. I want as soft of flight footage as possible. So I do the complete opposite of this. I always run more D gain than P and I gains. Yeah, it's gonna keep freezing until YouTube crashes. This is the nightmare of being a... There it goes. This is the nightmare of being a streamer on YouTube. They have a memory leak problem that's like really, really nasty that they don't seem to care about. And so, you know, all of us that stream and all of you guys that watch streams have to suffer while they make all the money in the world. But it just crashed, and so now everything will be much better. So yeah, an interesting tune, different than the way I would tune it, but not bad, just different. Feed forward is also cranked up pretty good, 1.15. That's a lot. I run damn near no, or sometimes no feed forward at all. That's just the way I want my flight footage to look. This thing is going to feel great with this tune. It's going to feel very darty and very instantaneous. But then, like, if I go back and watch this flight footage, I'm going to be like, oh, that's too sharp. Again, personal preference. I'm the weirdo, to be really honest. Most people tune in this way so that it feels better on the sticks. Dynamic damping is turned up at 0.85. That's actually nice. A lot of people turn the dynamic damping off. I like that it's you know, on at all. I run it a little bit higher. Run it at like 1.1. Again, personal preference. iGain up at 1.1. That's actually what I run as well. Pitch damping up at 105. I love that it's anything above 1 because there's always more weight on the pitch axis. That's the way the battery goes, north-south. And then the master multiplier is turned up to 1.2, which is going to boost all of these, right? So, like, don't get weirded out by the fact that the D gain and the P and I gain sliders are below 1.0. The fact that the master multiplier is up at 1.2 is actually boosting these up to basically like 1.15 and I think like 0.95 or so. Also, these motors are really powerful, and this is a fairly lightweight build. So this is a tune that I can pretty much tell you is going to be locked. The feed forward PID controller settings, the jitter reduction is very low at 1. Again, that's going to be a very sharp, on set point all the time kind of build. To give you an idea, I run my jitter reduction up at 12. This is one of the ways that I add stick smoothing, just to make the flight footage look the way that I want it to look. iTerm relax cutoff is higher than I've ever seen, up at 45. That's a lot. That is like a racing kind of thing. That's wild. I'm looking forward to flying this to see what that's like. Anti-gravity is up at 8. I think that's the stock setting nowadays. Dynamic damping is stock. Motor output limit 100%. Dynamic idle is turned on. That's really cool. All the way up at 125. VBAT sag compensation at 100. Thrust linear at 20. These are the stock settings. I love that these are both turned on. In the rate profile, it's on Betaflight rates, whatever. Always run actual rates. They're so much better. These are my rates. You will absolutely hate them. They are super, super, super cinematic rates because that's what I do for a living. All right, Throttle Expo is turned off. Don't blame you. I would not run Throttle Expo on any bind and fly because everybody is going to fly at a different speed, and so everybody is going to have a different throttle mid. I have 2 live streams on Throttle Expo. It's a big deal. You want to check them out. You want to learn how to set it. It makes a massive difference. But it takes a little bit of effort. You got to actually learn about it, and then you actually got to mess around with it and change it a little bit to get it dialed perfectly for you. If you're not willing to learn a little bit, don't even bother. Just leave it turned off. Most of the people that say that they hate it and it's bad are the people that aren't willing to learn about it. When folks do actually learn about it and spend a little bit of time to get it dialed in perfectly, I get the comment on one of those live streams or a message, holy shit, you were right, this is amazing. Wow, the dynamic notch filter is turned all the way off. Very cool. So we've got a lot of gyro filter here, mainly more than likely because the dynamic notch filter is turned all the way off. Although it's a little bit deceiving. The slider is at 1.0, but gyro low pass 1, which is the more CPU intensive gyro low pass filter, is turned off. So there's the more static gyro low pass 2 turned off. So that this looks like it's going to have more delay than it actually does. The D term filter multiplier is all the way down at 0.9, probably because there's so little gyro filter. So they're making that up with the D-term filter multiplier. Not a terrible idea. It's typically not what I do, but you can go heavy on gyro filtering and light on D-term filtering. You can go light on gyro filtering, heavy on D-term filtering. That's what this is. A lot of times you end up in sort of the same place. Yaw low pass filter is turned on, and the gyro RPM filtering is turned on. So very cool. Let's get this thing bound. I wonder if it will bind through Betaflight. Let's see. Come on to Minmo. There we go. And bind mode, binding. Let's see what happens. Oh shit, look at that. That's really nice. All right, everything's good there. Everything's good there. Cool. Ready to fly. I need to change the channel map to TAER. Stick low and stick high thresholds. I always like to change these. I like stick low threshold to be at 1,000, stick high to be at 2,000, but that varies depending on the transmitter. And so with a bind and fly, you never want to change those. You want to leave those exactly where they are stock. But the way that you set that is you put your sticks in the bottom left, and you look at all of the roll, pitch, yaw, throttle numbers, and you look at wherever they are, and then you put your stick low threshold a little bit above that. Mine always come in at 998. And so I put the stick low threshold at 1,000. That's a little bit above 998. Or no, mine come in at 988 rather. And then you put your sticks in the top right corner, and then you look at the values. My values are always 2011, so I set my stick high threshold to 2000. This way you get the maximum resolution in your stick travel. It's just a simple little tip. RC deadband and yaw deadband, those are something that I would love to see added in, because damn near all gimbals jitter at least a little bit, and you've got 2,000 steps of, you have 1,000 steps of resolution here, and so 4 points of deadband is like nothing. And if a gimbal is jittering, like I said, all gimbals jitter at least a little bit, and so I would actually love it if Betaflight would start defaulting the deadbands to 2 or 3 or even 4, but that's a super nitpicky thing, to be completely honest. Modes tab, I might actually need to set some modes up here, so let me turn my transmitter back on. Arming looks like it's right. Horizon, I'm going to put on here, and I'm going to put it stick position all the way up. So that's arm, yep, that's horizon, nope, not aux 11, aux 2, how the hell did that happen? Right, and then beeper is going to be over here on aux 4. I want beeper to be switch position all the way towards me. This AIO does not have black box, so we don't need to turn that on. Flip over after crash. I want to put that on to aux 3 with this one. Oh wait, no. I want aux 3, not aux 4 for the beeper. There we go. Aux 3. And then we don't really need launch control. That's fine. That's how I set up my switches. Actually, I am going to turn permanent air mode off, and I'm going to put it on the switch. I really do like having air mode on a switch here. And so when you turn air mode off in the configuration tab, it then becomes an option in here. And so I want air mode on when the switch position is here, and then I want it off when the switch position is here. I have that on a momentary switch up here, so I can turn air mode off and then turn it back on. So when I'm flying, it's on, and then if I need it off, I pull and then let go to turn it off. And there we go. That's how I set my modes up on damn near everything. I am going to set this up with my wacky OSD, and I have a cool little setup here that allows me to have clean OSD on my aux 2 channel, and that's how I set it up. I've gone over this a bunch of times. Motors tab. We are props out. Okay. I don't usually fly props out, but it's kind of all the same. until you're outside doing big dives. 12 motor poles, bidirectional D-shot. D-shot 600, okay. I'm surprised the CPU can take both D-shot 600 and 8K PID loop. That's pretty slick. In the OSD tab, I have my analog OSD set up here that I'm just going to copy and paste into the CLI. NTSC with stick overlay. Should I run stick overlay? Do you guys want to see stick overlay? I'm sure you do. I'll run stick overlay. Hang on a second here. Copy that. Fairly standard OSD, probably default OSD. Everybody runs their own, and so I wouldn't expect them to do anything crazy with the OSD. I'm going to check them on one thing, though. Let's see. Get crash. Let's see if they have crash recovery turned on. I would assume no. Okay, they don't. I'm going to turn it on. I've found crash, but here's the thing. Crash recovery is dependent upon your rates, and so I don't know how you would turn crash recovery on a bind and fly. So as much as I would love to see crash recovery turned on these, yeah, that might be a bit of a nightmare, because if somebody runs really if somebody gets this and runs really aggressive rates, crash recovery could turn on all the time and drive them insane, and then that generates a bunch of phone calls. So as cool as that would be, I don't know, that would be potentially a nightmare. Let me check the OSD real quick. All right. Looks good. Yeah, that's my OSD. We're fine there. Video transmitter, race band 8, max power. I'm going to turn it down to 25 milliwatts, and I'm going to turn on low power disarm. I would love to see on until first arm be the default for the low power disarm. I think this should be Betaflight's default. Setting the power to max, that makes sense. If somebody's going to fly it outside right away, they'll be good to go. I'm not going to fly it outside, so I run it 25. Save that. And I think that's it. We don't have black box. Yeah, we're good to go. All right, cool. So there you go. There's a couple quick tips and tricks for Betaflight. That is most of what I do when I set a build up. Not everything, but there's a bunch of cool little things here and there. Nothing that I wouldn't expect to see. The one thing that really surprises me, though, is that the PID loop frequency and the D-shot 800. I'm shocked that this AIO is able to run those as high. Let's run the kind of shitty battery first. I forgot to set up one of the cubes. Hold on. Hold on. It's the important gem fan cube. All right, cool. So, hey, it's only 11:20. Good deal. We're gonna run the shit old supercharged and discharged battery first, just to kind of get it out of the way, and then the next three that we run will be much more fresh. So the flat part of the BT 2.0 is towards me, and so I'm gonna run the batteries with the not label facing downwards. Let's grab my trusty Fat Shark HD3s. Is this battery charged? Hell yeah, it is. Cool. And away we go. GameHat Firestyle, battery number 1. So there is the newbie drone BI V2. Very bright. Let's get this thing. Well, I'm just going to fly it on this battery. All right, so angle mode was just on. The next 3 batteries, we'll take it upstairs and see what kind of RPM we get. So this is on HQ 1.2 by 0.9 by 3s. And yeah, as expected, it is razor sharp. There is no stick smoothing whatsoever, which for me feels very weird. So this is going to take me a minute to get used to this. Yikes. now. Woo! The tune is aggressive. Yeah, the tune is on the limit. Woo, boy! I'm just trying to get used to this. I fly with so much more delay and stick smoothing that like this is nice. It's just very different. Ah! Hey, I could have just hit my switch for no air mode and it would have come off the ceiling there. Woo! Shit. Getting some crashes in. Yeah, give me another minute or so to adjust here, friends. Trying to get an orbit in, but I can't. Woo! I'm also wondering what uptilt this is. This might be more uptilt than I'm used to. So, if you heard just now when I was off throttle up over my head, this is how I can tell the tune is on the edge. You hear it? I'm going to do it one more time. Just listen real carefully. When I'm zero throttle, sailing up over my head. One more time. It's just a little nervous. It is spinning the motors down, but it's spinning them down and then they're like just a little bit. That's a tune that is right on the edge. When I sell a bind and fly, I back the tune off quite a bit. And just when I fly rigs, I back the tune off a decent amount so that I can beat the props up or beat the motors up or beat the frame up and not have any issues. That's just me. You can always just go in and turn the master multiplier down a little bit and you'll be good to go. I'm not going to do that because this is how it ships. But that's sort of me. I crash a lot. I don't love repairing these things very much. Ooh, I ran this battery down way too low. Great runtime. 3 minutes and 14 seconds, although admittedly I ran this battery into the fucking ground. Let's see what the battery bounces back to. 348. Wow. Sorry, battery. It's coming back. Give me 3.5. Come on, give it to me. Let me see 3.5, you bastard. Nope. Well, this is an old battery. We're going to swap to some fresh batteries. Hey, I just noticed it's got double either PEEK or whatever, plastic. Double plastic screws and then one metal screw on the outside. I dig that. I run all metal screws. When the plastic screws break, it drives me completely insane. So I'll take a little bit extra weight for a little bit more durability. But the 2-in-1 setup tends to work really well. Really good so far. What's this uptilt? This is more uptilt than I'm used to. I can just sort of feel it when I'm flying it. Let me see here. If I line these two guys up. Hold on. Yeah, that looks like... Oh, maybe not. Maybe that is... I was going to say it looks an awful lot... Yeah, no, that's... This is either 25 or 30 degrees, which is a little bit more than what I'm used to. What's cool is this mount puts the camera pretty far forward, so there's barely any duct in view. I like that about these mounts that move the camera forward a little bit. What I don't necessarily love about the mounts that move the camera forward is they spread the weight more on the pitch axis, and they make it a little bit nose heavy. It's not the end of the world if you're going to have something be... You want it to be nose heavy rather than tail heavy, because the front motors get fresh air. The rear motors have to pull air down, right? The front motors are going to take this whole column of air, and then the rear motors have to take the air from up here, and so the rear motors have to do more work. So with a little bit more weight on the nose, The front motors have to do more to carry that weight, but they have cleaner, easier, an easier time pulling the air in, and so it tends to kind of offset. So yeah, having a slightly nose heavy weight rig is no issue. The other thing I didn't mention is that the battery leads are going upwards and then down. With a canopy like this, that's totally fine. With the old school Mobula 6 canopies, that can be kind of annoying because the canopy gets in the way of the wires a little bit. But on a setup like this, wires up versus wires down, it doesn't really matter. GameHat says 20 degrees. Okay, so this mount is 20 degrees. I'm used to 15. I run 15 on this, and I also run 15 on the Mobula 6 canopies. So yeah, I'm feeling a little bit of extra up tilt. The big thing that I'm feeling, though, is it is just snappy, man. All of that, the really low jitter reduction, the high feed forward, and less D gains than P and I gains, that makes it razor sharp. All right, let's do some proper batteries on it, and let's go upstairs and rail it across the room to see what kind of RPM we get. We should get a lot. This thing should do... I'm starting to actually learn what the RPMs are because we've done so much testing lately. We've been seeing 60,000 plus or minus. I've seen as high as 63,000 on these motors, on the Lava V2 320s. On these regular batteries, though, I've seen 62,000. So let's see what we get. We just did some of this testing on these same motors and looked at RPMs on Monday's live stream. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw 63 or 64. Whew, shit. Oh, there's 64. Holy shit. That was a pretty good run. I don't know if we'll see any more than that. I also don't know where I am. Oh, I'm down by the front door. Okay. So that was 64. So that's a really cool comparison point of these motors on these motors direct soldered. This is the same exact battery that we were running and getting 62,000 RPM on. Ooh. Let's give it a second to come back to life. I think that's from the battery lead. When I plug this battery lead in, it's a little bit. It has a little bit less resistance than what I'm used to. It plugs into the batteries. It's not like I'm not going to say that it's loose, but yeah, it's not tight. And so for some reason, oh, there it goes. That was weird. Why wouldn't an arm on the ground? That's odd. Great power to weight ratio. I'm really having to get used to how sharp this thing is, and so most of my focus is on that rather than like the power to weight ratio. But the power to weight ratio is real good. Anything that's going to turn 64,000 RPM is going to have good power to weight ratio. This is like a mid-weight build. It's not like crazy lightweight 16. It's also not super fat boy 18, 19. It's in the middle somewhere, which is really nice actually. Oh, got out of there. Wow, I am really struggling. You know, I have flown thousands and thousands and thousands of batteries with a lot of stick smoothing. Whenever I fly without it, it's like this. I'm just very adjusted to having some smoothing. And matter of fact, I might add some stick smoothing to this after this battery. because I want to really be able to fly this thing. Oh, I tried to like slow roll it down into the into that cube. Ah! I've been trying to figure out how to do a wall ride back here. That's it. That's what I've been trying to figure out how to do. But I want to do it like lower and cleaner. That's it. I just started to... Yeah, I want to do it like really low so it's behind the TV the whole time. Ah! Oh, I know why I ran that battery down so low, because the battery warnings are lower on here. I usually run the battery warnings much higher. Yep. So 2 minutes and 18 seconds hammering it. Not surprising. You know, the way that I fly, I use massive amounts of full throttle. I'm just constantly, I mean, you guys can see it now that I have the stick overlay. I'm constantly moving the throttle up and down. That eats power. These are very powerful motors that are direct soldered. 64,000 RPM is massive. So no surprises that we're not getting like 3-minute run times. I need to put some... I need to set this thing up a little bit more familiar if I'm going to be able to really fly this hard. That's how it comes out of the box. I didn't make any significant changes other than like crash recovery and stuff like that. This is how it actually flies when I'm a little bit more comfortable. And I am going to move those battery warnings up a little bit as well. So let's come in here, power and battery. I'm going to go, shit, I always forget what I normally do. I'm at least going to go 0.1 higher. I'm going to go, yeah, I'm going to go 0.1 higher. And then what I'm basically going to do, the way that I set my stick smoothing up is I choose Express LRS 250, and then I do the cinematic preset. We'll do HD Freestyle though. We'll do the HD Freestyle. That'll be somewhere in between razor sharp and a little bit of smoothing. I usually do cinematic. This is what puts in a bunch of smoothing on the jitter reduction, but it also puts in some smoothing into the receiver tab. And so I just select that. That's it. Don't touch any of the rest of these. Just that one. Pick, save, and reboot. That's going to add a good amount of smoothing. The other thing I'm going to do, though, is turn feed forward down a little bit. I did not bump it. What are you getting hung up here for? Come on, Betaflight. Be cool. Come on now. All right, I think it's safe to say that it got jammed up there. Let me just move the whoop a little bit. Hopefully it'll have a better connection the way that I just moved it. Try this again. Presets, 250, HD Freestyle, pick, save and reboot. What's this about? I definitely didn't move it this time. Why is it getting hung up here? Well, let's see. Maybe it made the changes and it's fine. We'll see it as a 12 in the jitter reduction here. No 12. Let's try one more time. Express LRS 250. Well, let's try the cinematic one this time. Maybe that's better. Fine-tuning cinematic. Oh, wait. What is this on? This is on Betaflight 4.5.1. No, this should be fine. 4.5. ELRS Express 250 RC link smoothing. Okay. Oh, do I have to turn the transmitter off? No, that's weird. Oh, this is the Hummingbird AIO. Huh. I don't know why it's getting hung up here. What I was going to just say is it's the Hummingbird AIO with a specific hex, but that's not it. You should still be able to use this. Weird. I do not remember that issue on my Hummingbird race. I don't know why it's doing that. I've never seen that before. So let's just go into PID tuning, and we're just going to manually turn this jitter reduction up to 12. I'm going to hit save here, and then I'm going to take this feed forward all the way down to 0, because we're not going to have any, well, I was about to say we're not going to have any smoothing set on here, but I actually can. I'm going to put this on manual, and I believe 100 is where I usually run this. This might also actually smooth out the off throttle performance. I'll be interested to see. PID tuning, feed forward all the way down. Okay, so that should feel a lot more normal for me. Let me just make sure that it's still in there. Jitter reduction 12. Okay, that should feel a lot better for me personally. Let's go. Yeah, I mean the newbie drone stuff definitely has the custom hex, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to use the presets or whatever. I have no idea why those presets weren't working. That's a little odd. But I mean, that's a Betaflight thing. That's a newbie drone thing. You could message newbie drone and be like, "Yo, what's up with this?" Maybe they have a thing. Maybe they have a solution. Not a thing. All right, transmitter's got to come on. Hold on, let me just cycle the power. That'll make ELRS connect a little bit quicker. Then waiting for it to go around the horn. There we go. All right, cool. So here we are. Much better. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, mega power to weight. Fuck you. No, don't be stuck. Teddy, help! Teddy, help me! Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Thank you for the help, Teddy. He was the supervisor. Let me see. Oh, I forgot to get a full throttle run in. I will in the next battery. Let me see something. Nah, it's still a little bit nervous when it's off throttle. It's totally fine, but the tune is on the edge. If you're buying a custom bind and fly, though, you might as well get an absolute razor's edge tune, right? And if you want to back it off, you just grab that master multiplier, turn it down a little bit. Woo! Yeah, this thing boogies. Okay, take it easy, buddy. Let's not blow everything around the desk. All right. Yeah, mega power to weight. More power than I like down here. But you can always motor limit it down. You know, too much power. Ooh, Jesus. Too much power is always better than not enough, because you can digitally turn the power down. Woo! Yeah, a lot of Stankonia. Wow, I missed that. Hold on. Come on, come on, come on. Wow, I'm not getting the... So the up tilt is getting me a little bit right now. I'm throwing it back rather than up. Wow, that's wild how much of an effect the up tilt is having on this one specific move. See if I can adjust real quick. It definitely has the power. There we go. Yep. So I just have to get on the throttle tiny little bit earlier to offset the different up tilt. That's the problem. Then I end up getting on throttle too early. And it goes rocketing into the ceiling. Let's try one more time. Mega power loop. Come on, buddy. Nope. Come on! There it is. Woo! Oh, that was weirdly... I tried to do that with a reverse rotation than I normally do. Ah! Come on, don't do that. Don't do me like this. I gotta go get it. Man, it boogies. Teddy, get down. What are you doing? You bad little bastard. Look at him. Look at this dog. What are we going to do about this dog, guys? What are we going to do about this dog? Woo! Look at him. Look at him. I'm so tough. I'm so tough. I'm a big tough dog. I'm a 20-pound shit schnauzer. So it is very fast, very slidey. That is A, the motor's making mad power, but B, the frame, the thin ducts on the frame and the not very tall. There's some good runtime for you. And the not very tall, the aerodynamic canopy, right? And so it is just blasting from edge to edge in this room. This is a small room, right? This is like a, I don't know, 400 square foot room. This is going to be killer for racing or outdoors or bigger rooms. In small rooms, though, this is going to be a lot. So you're going to want to motor limit this down. Hell, you could maybe even run like a quad blade on here. Don't do that, though. But that was almost 3 minutes of runtime. That's really, really good. This next battery, we're going to go upstairs and get another full throttle hammer across the room. See if we can get 64,000 RPM again. Last of the Weebleed 300 mAh BT 2.0 batteries on this rig. We're going to, just for fun, fly the regular old newbie drone Hummingbird V4 after this. For comparison. Oh, shit. Don't you fucking dare. No. Oh, we are right next to the dog's bowl. Oh, boy. That was almost really annoying. Woo! Jesus Christ. Alright, let's see what RPM it hit on that. Oh, fuck it. Let me just disarm it. 62,075. I was going to say that was not as clean of a full throttle run as I got on that first battery. Yeah, the up tilt has me off a little bit, but there we go. That one was a little bit better. Ah! Jesus Christ. Come on now. Busy basement. Ah! All right. Come on now. Can I get one clean Matty flip, please? Whew, man, I'm just stabbing the throttle at the wrong moment. There we go. But of course, I have to hit the ground at the last second so that it's not clean. I'll take it. Let's do some tight technical kind of stuff in here. All right, so also I'm not running any throttle expo, which is why I'm kind of bouncing up and down. Let me get that set real quick. 32, 33. Let's set it at 33. Oh, shit. I can't really see. Hold on. All right, now I can see. What did I say? 33. So we're going to go into main and profile and rate. We're going to go up to go to the bottom. The throttle expo midpoint, we're going to set at 33. 33. And then the amount of throttle expo, I'm going to run a bunch on here, actually. I'm going to run 30. And now this will feel a lot better. Yeah, buddy. Now we're talking. Oh, Jesus. Now we're talking. Hey. Do some like low altitude kind of stuff here. Now that I got the throttle expo dialed. Actually, it's not quite dialed perfectly. It always takes a couple rounds of screwing around with the throttle expo to get it perfect. It's not quite perfect right now. It's better than not having it. But, yeah, see, I can't get it to settle down. And there's the end of the battery. A little over 3 minutes of runtime, though. Really good runtime. Again, I am running these batteries down a little bit lower than I normally do, because the battery warnings are a little bit higher than I normally have them. But that's okay. I run them pretty low, to be really honest. Let's give it a second to let the battery voltage pop back up. And I can't get the computer to work because I'm a dunce. There we go. Got it. So we ended up back at 3.54, 3 minutes and 8 seconds of runtime. The runtime is totally normal. It's not like mega runtime like we get from some of these super lightweight builds. But it's also not like a minute and 50 seconds like you'll get from the really powerful Fat Boy build. So it's the runtime is exactly where I would expect it. 4 batteries of abuse, no broken plastic screws. Canopy is totally fine. Everything looks totally fine. Video reception is totally normal, even with an ultra lightweight little antenna. I wasn't looking at any of the link quality or SNR. This AIO, this Hummingbird Race V2 AIO has a little flat antenna on it, which is great because you don't have another wire sticking out. Yeah, just works. It's tuned very differently than I tune. Didn't have the throttle expo dialed perfectly, so I was having a little bit of trouble. But for my first 4 batteries on a totally custom build, like, not bad. I was able to do most of the stuff that I normally do. If I put another 10, 15 batteries through this, I'd be pretty well dialed on it. Yeah, this is a fully custom build with a really good part selection. Definitely geared towards big power and speed. This is a fast freestyle rig. This will be great outside, great in big rooms. Arguably, this is a better way to build. If you're going to build a freestyle rig for like everybody, this is a better way to build it. The way that I build my freestyle rigs is for this room right here. Small spaces, definitely not for outside, definitely not for big rooms. Most people are not only going to fly their tiny whoop in a little room like this. You're going to screw around with it outside and in a park, by a jungle gym. And this is probably a better way to build it. The Betaflight Air 65 V2 frame is great, super durable, super lightweight. Really good choice on the AIO here. Direct soldered motors, not my favorite, but certainly produces power and better runtime. Yeah, good job, guys. Very fun. Very, very fun to fly. I forgot to mention, it comes in one of their awesome little, what I've decided to call pocket protectors. They have a cooler name for it, but yeah, very cool little whoop case. It's got a spot for 4 batteries. No, 6 batteries actually here. And TPU cap. This is rigid. I forget what the material is, but then TPU floppy cap. Really, really cool little setup to put a whoop in your pocket to keep it protected. I'm assuming that I'm 99.9% sure that they ship it with this. They do. They ship it with this. Color coded, which is neat. It's also going to come with the little dongly bastard so that you can plug it into Betaflight. And I think that's about it, man. Yeah, very cool. Fun to fly. What a rocket ship. This is challenging to fly in this small, busy, crowded space. But that's more, you know, I should have less shit in this basement than anything else. Let's contrast that with a Hummingbird V4 that I've swapped the canopy over. That's all that I've done here. I think I've swapped the propellers over as well. The newbie drone stuff usually comes with the ASI props. Those will last like 10 crashes before they implode. So 1.2 by 0.9 by 3 propellers, and a Bri-Brain canopy. I sell these on my little Etsy store. As a comparison point, on this thing, we saw 64,000 RPM. On this guy, on Monday's live stream, we saw 55,000, 56,000, and 54,000 RPM. So 8 to 10,000 extra RPM from the same motors, same props, slightly different AIO, but not really. This is JST 1.0, the tiny motor plugs that only Newbie Drone and Emacs use versus direct soldered motors. Mega, mega, mega difference. But yeah, for a comparison point, here you go. Hummingbird V4 on NX69. I forgot that we were going to fly this as well. I think I'm just going to do one battery on this because we're probably almost at midnight. Yeah, we are, 11:53. So I'll just do one battery real quick. I'm not going to go upstairs and do a full throttle hammer because we just did it yesterday. Also, you're looking at a Newbie Drone BI V1 camera now. You were just looking at a V2 camera. This is in a different frame as well, but this is the frame that this thing comes with. This is the Cockroach V3 frame. You'll notice it corners better. When I yaw it around like this, it just goes. I'm also not going as fast, so it doesn't have as much momentum. This frame has taller ducts, and so they slow the build. They slow this thing down quite a bit. Now I have to get used to 15 degrees of uptilt again. A little bit more prop wash on this as well. You're going to get that from a heavier setup. So like in here, I'm much more familiar with this, so I can much more smoothly come in here and carve up these little small spaces. See if I can go under. Whoa, Teddy boy. See if I can get it. Ah! Baga! Try that one more time. A sleeping dog. Oh, God. Nope. One more. Oh, fuck you. Come on. There we go. Come on, get it. Ah! Oh, so close. This Hummingbird AIO suffers a lot. Suffers a lot more with the weird AIO disappearing for no real reason issue. I've put this board through absolute hell, though. I've had this for a while. I've crashed the absolute shit out of it. You can see the OSD going absolutely ham right now. Oh, I hit the light. No! Oh, God, it's so hard to get out of here. Yeah, there we go. Oh, my God, what have I done? Man, I definitely got used to that up tilt. It's wild how much you can adjust in just like a couple batteries. Woo! Nope. Oh, come on. Oh, God, that was a hard hit. Right to the edge of the cymbal. Yikes. Ugh. I need to get crash recovery dialed in a little bit better. When you saw it bump into the ground there and just like randomly tilt to the side, that was crash recovery kind of freaking out, not doing what it should be doing. So there you go, man. Very different, much less power to weight ratio, much slower, but like totally dialed in for me, right? Like this is something that I've spent loads of time flying and adjusting every little stupid thing. Kind of an unfair comparison, but hopefully you guys could see a little bit of a difference between the way the two of those fly. Obviously, the speed that they carry, the power to weight ratio, and the speed that they carry, but also like the slidiness. Look at the profile of the one versus the other, right? Like flying straight ahead, there's a difference because of the ducts, right? So like this is obviously less aerodynamic, but then where you really notice it is when you turn to the side, and when you turn to the side, this Bri-Brain mount has much more of a profile than this mount. But again, the height of the ducts, when this thing is sliding sideways, this is going to slow down much faster. This guy's going to keep going. But then when you put the nose down to go fast, this is going to haul ass and this is not. Yeah, interesting little comparison point there. Two very different builds. One of them very fast, very, very powerful. The other one kind of slow and more straight-liney. It blows me away how much runtime this thing gets, especially with how heavy it is. I think it's because the little JST 1.0 plugs just like limit the amount of power that dumps into the motor. I would think that it would just turn that power into heat, but I don't know what else. I don't know why else this thing is able to get 3 minutes of runtime. Maybe because I was not flying it as hard. I don't know. But regardless, the Firestyle gets plenty of runtime. It gets the exact amount of runtime that I would expect from this. Really, really good job. This is super fun, very fast. Might have too much power if you're not like a top-notch pilot. Just go into the PIDs tab, motor output limiting, drop that down to like 80. See how it is at 80%. If that's not enough, 85, 90, you'll get it exactly right, and you'll be good to go. Great job, GameHat. Thanks for sending this over. This is very, very, very cool. And this little case is awesome, too. I really dig this case. 6 batteries. Throw a little cap on it. It's not going to get crushed. It looks like they did turned on fuzzy skin in Bamboo Labs here to get this kind of textured finish versus I just happen to have the other ones that they sent me out. This is like the regular layer lines. Regular layer lines, fuzzy skin. Pretty cool. Awesome. Very cool, fellas. Let me see if I can get caught up on chat in the next 0 minutes. It's 12 o'clock exactly. That's okay. We always go a little bit long. That's what she said. La 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 la. Farts. Where are we at here? I'm trying to find where I left off in the chat. Nathan Wells says, doesn't the race AIO not have the BMI 270? If it's showing the option for 4K and 8K, which it is, it can't have the BMI 270. You always know if it's a BMI 270 if the maximum PID loop frequency is 3.2K. Nyafu says, update on the Light AF 75 2S project. Battery holder is too small for 2S, but I'm currently printing a 25 by 25 screw-on holder. If the weight ends up being less, then this is still good. Nice. Frank Nicholas says, just a reminder in case you want to do a giveaway for batteries tonight. Shit, I did, but I don't want to do it at midnight. We'll do it on Friday. Friday we'll do a little battery giveaway like we did. I forget when we did it. It'll be a 580, a 680, and a 680. So come on back Friday at 7 o'clock East, 7 to 9 Eastern. We'll probably do it at about 8 o'clock Eastern. Nyafu says, the Firestyle is literally just a frame prop canopy swapped race spec V2, isn't it? Unless it uses standard 30,000 kV motors, snipped off connectors. Very similar. Yeah. GameHat says, this is why the Air 4-in-1 is so good. No front mount. Nyafu says, issue with race spec V2 USB dongle is the fact that they're only sold on Weebleed and Newbie Drone store. Yeah, I mean, you can say that about these, the ones that Happy Model and Beta FPV are using. You know, I don't think Newbie Drone's going anywhere. I don't think Weebleed's going anywhere. So you can get them. And there's going to be a bunch of people that have extras too, so you'll be able to get those little dongly things. Nyafu says the pins break off pretty often. I mean, if you were to fly with it on there, yeah, for sure. But like, you put it on, you plug it into USB, you put it into Betaflight, what, once, twice, and then you do everything else in the OSD with from the transmitter. So yeah, I don't know. If you're even remotely careful with this, I can't imagine you breaking the pins off. But it's not outside the realm of possibilities. I don't see it happening very often. Because you just don't plug these things in very often. Mupshot says, I would make a wired connection on that USB Chingadero just to put some tolerance into the connection. Yeah, you could do that, I guess. I think it's fine, though. You just drop it on the board, plug the USB in, put it on your desk, push it to the side a little bit. It's fine. Jake FPV says, like my build locked in, as you can see, LMAO. Yeah, Jake, great job on this, man. This thing flies awesome. GameHat says, this may or may not have started with race branding before I realized how good it is for freestyle. Nice. I can see it. GameHat Aerial says, thanks for the awesome feedback. You're certainly welcome. Low power till first arm is our default. Mostly this may have been changed by the previous reviewer. Fair enough. It seemed pretty... it seemed like somebody may have flashed it stock. There was a lot of stuff that was like dead stock that I was kind of like, although the tune wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. GameHat says all metal on the in-stock Firestyles. We made a second batch. Very cool. Whoopfox says, when you do the railgun thing, are you just pitching back, smacking some throttle, then off throttle, pitch forward, and level the quad? Pretty much, yeah. So the railgun is like fly. There's the Weebleed cube over there. If this is the cube, you fly into the cube. You got to start pitching back early, get it stopped inside the cube, hammer the throttle. You've got most of your thrust facing forwards at this point. So you're in the cube, you hammer the throttle to give it that backwards momentum. As soon as you chop the throttle, you pitch forward, because you don't, if you keep it like this, it'll fall into the ground. And so you pitch forward to flatten it out, and then it slides back. That's the railgun. Mupshot says, prop the quad up so the camera is level with a point, then plugged into Betaflight for transmitting video, then check the angle. That's a really good idea. I do have pitch up in the top right corner. Whoops, I thought it was Whoopsie. It's Whoopie says, can you walk through the Express LRS presets? Is 250 hertz usually the best go-to for freestyle with a micro group? No. 250 is the best go-to if your transmitter or your module is on 250. If your module or your transmitter are on 500, you got to use the 500 preset. What is it? Below 250 is 150, or is it one? I forget what it is. But the packet rate that you choose on your module or on your transmitter needs to match the preset that you choose in Betaflight, because the stair stepping of what this transmits needs to get smoothed properly in Betaflight. What happens if I don't apply a preset at all? It'll be like 1% worse. It's barely noticeable. You could argue that it's not noticeable, but it's easy to do, so you might as well do it. Jake FPV says all the Newbie Drone stuff is custom hexes. It might be locked to not using presets. Newbie Drone does some weird stuff. What I would do, if I were keeping this, what I would do is take another build, put that 250 preset on it, go into the receiver tab, go into the PID tab, and just look at what the jitter reduction and the other things are in the PID tab, and then look at what the things are in the receiver tab. That's all that preset is doing. It's changing the jitter reduction and then those other 4 feed forward items in the PID tab, and then it changes those items at the bottom of the receiver tab. You guys saw me do that manually. I manually bumped up the jitter reduction. I manually bumped up the auto smoothing in the receiver tab. So it would be easy to get around that. GameHat says, can you do the upstairs power? Oh, shit. I forgot. Sorry, dude. It's so dark up there, though. I didn't want to spend any time up there. YouTube just did the thing. Trying to find my place. Damn it, I wish I'd read that. GameHat says, you know we had to have a hashtag six packs in there. LOL, PLA, that's it. PLA case with a lifetime durability warranty. Nice. Nyafu says, I'm not going to pay $40 shipping for a dongle. I've been shit out of luck with mine for months now. That's super annoying. Yeah, I forget that some people aren't in fascism land and can't get certain things. Precision FPV with the last 2 comments of the live stream. He says, I think you should give 45mm gem fans one more shot. They've been great on my HD0 Mobula 80. 45mm is what? 1.8 inches? 45mm in inches. 1.77. Yeah. So I run 1.8 inch gem fans at least 30 or 40 times. And they're durable, but they're just not well balanced enough to get as good of a tune as I want. For people that don't care about the tunes being absolutely locked in, they're completely fine. I'm not one of those people, though. And so, yeah, I've tried those 1.8 inch gem fans so many times. They're just not balanced. And it's not just me. Anybody that like, I frequently talk to a bunch of folks that have been flying for a long time and are pretty good and know how to tune. And I've yet to have one of those people not back me up on the fact that the gem fan 1.8s are just out of balance. It's just, you know, it just is what it is. They're also very heavy is the other thing that I don't like about them. They're kind of like needlessly heavy. Again, that's something that a lot of people won't notice. If you don't have the tune cranked, if you're not a complete lunatic, response time is something that most folks don't really notice, but it is there and it does affect things. So yeah, it's not a dig on you at all. But yeah, at the upper levels, you start noticing the more subtle things, and out of balance, too heavy, that's a deal breaker, unfortunately, which is really annoying because the 1.8 inch HQs are not durable. But they fly so much better, and they're so much better balanced, and they're so much lighter that it's well worth it. GameHat Aerial, actually, with the last comment of the live stream, it says, if anyone is hard up for a dongle, you can solder USB to it. Yeah, you know, you can even probably... You can take one of these dongles, which are easier to get, right? Happy Model now has these, and Betaflight has these. You can cut this wire. You can solder these 4 to the board, and then you can just leave this hanging off the board, and then you can just plug in this little guy, and you'll be good to go. So that's a totally easy kind of workaround for if you can't get those little newbie drone pin-based jib jabs. Cool. Thanks for hanging, friends. Shout out to GameHat for sending this over. This was a blast. Let me know who I'm sending it to next, and I'll see you guys on Friday at 7 o'clock. Here comes some more chasing around RC off-road / crawler / lip-clops. CiottiFPV.com if you like these live streams. We'd like to see them continue. I rely on you people. Love you. Bye.
Yeah. Out in the yard where the grass grows wild.
wild. CiottiFPV's goggles locked, grinning like a child. Teddy spaghetti's fur flies and jet wash dreams. Yeah. Chasing small whoops like a dog possessed fiend. Eyes on a neon blur, hard in the chase. Big fuzz and prop spin all tangled in place. Yeah. Four-legged rebel with a rotor stir tail. In the circus of the sky, they never fail. CiottiFPV, Teddy spaghetti, dynamic duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, they zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a 2D smile. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ciotti's on sticks, Teddy's on paws. Side by side, legends breaking all the laws. Through the kitchen, over couch scale terrain. Backyard mayhem in their flight domain. No ground too sacred, no loop too tight. Fuzz fuel fury ignites the night. When pilot and pup lock eyes on the prize, every whoop they conquer is a fresh cut surprise. Yeah. Yo, Ciotti behind the sticks, Teddy's leading the pack. Prop guard missiles unleashed, never looking back. No leash, no map, just freestyle mic. They on the dog drone streets every day and night. Said whoops, hitting low, gotta nail the dive, Teddy. Push throttle up, feel the beast come alive. I see the neon arc, got the sticks locked in, Teddy. Yeah, let's rip this loop, ride the roar of the wind, Teddy. Yep. Yeah, CiottiFPV, Teddy spaghetti, diamond and duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a 2D smile. Teddy spaghetti. Barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, things zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a 2D smile. Yeah, when you hear that bar cut the rotor hum, you know Ciotti and Teddy's mission's just begun. FPV's fur-faced legends, legends singing loud. Yeah, Teddy spaghetti and CiottiFPV always proud.